Hi everyone and welcome to the second episode of Standing 8. I'm Paul Fitzgerald.
I'm Ben Damon and this is a very strange combination. I didn't even know these two were such good friends, but the odd couple, Kyle Sandilands and Jeff Fenech.
Gentlemen.
It was the groomsman at his wedding.
Yeah.
That's right.
How do you guys know each other?
Well, I think we met at a charity gig down at Woolloomooloo Wharf the first time, wasn't it?
Exactly right. It was my daughters were listening to this radio station and this guy Kyle Sandilands was saying that he needed somebody to train him and stuff, and just coincidental, and that I was at the same charity event as Kyle. We got on a boat, and as Kyle got on the boat, kind of half tipped. So I said to him,
Oh, what an asshole. You know what? I noticed Jeff because he's the only guy that was wearing a colourful long sleeve silk Versace shirt and a big hip hop diamond necklace. And I was envious. I thought, Jesus Christ, like that old bloke is pulling off that look really well.
Yeah. And the training's gone well, obviously. You still keep up the
training.
Scotch finger biscuits here today.
But it's not Jeff's expertise that has caused this. It's my lack of showing up to training, wouldn't you say, Jeff?
But let me just say one thing.
For how many years?
Wait, no. But when he did train, I'm just going to say this. The reason why he's as successful as he is in everything that he does is when he wants to do something, he done it properly. And we trained, and I love training. I loved working with him, but he worked really hard when he had to and when he wanted to.
Yeah. The most incredible story here is that Kyle Sandilands was in the corner for former Australian world champion Vic Darchinyan for one of his biggest fights in the US. I didn't know that until today, but that's mind-blowing to see.
Well, it was my first and only corner.
It's a pretty good one to do.
I made a fatal error, Jeff. Do you want me to tell this story, or do you want me to tell that story?
Well, no, I'll tell the story at the start. I'll just say because Kyle and I were in America, and he came obviously to support my team, which he always has, and that's the one thing that I love more than anything about Kyle is his loyalty. He's the most lawless friend one of my most lawless friends, so I've got quite a few. But he came there and I said, listen, Kyle, there's a job for you to do while you're in, what is it? So I told him that he's going to be the cornerman for Vic Darchinyan, which really excited him. And Kyle, you can.
I didn't know what it meant. Right, I just thought I'll be there. I thought I'd get a tracksuit. Always ill-fitting the tracksuits on my size body. But anyway, after I bitched and moaned about the ill-fitting tracksuit, I realised I'm the stool guy. So, which sounds shit if you work in a hospital.
Job, though.
Yeah, bad if you're in a hospital orderly.
Absolutely.
But good if you're in the boxing corner. And I just remember I'd never been to a boxing match that close. I'd been to a few you go to events, you sit at a table, you watch people bash the shit out of each other. But to be right there in the corner overseas, and it was epic. Vic was covered in blood and sweat, and I was like mesmerised by the whole experience. And then when it came time for everyone to go to their corner, is that what it's called?
Yeah, when it was time for the stool to come in
between rounds.
my big mate was fucking sitting on it all the time. That's the stool, Kyle, you've got to put it in the corner, mate, put it through the ropes.
Jeff's turned around and he goes, the stool, brother. And I'm just sitting on it looking at poor Vic, waiting to sit down. I thought, fuck, I'm sitting on the bastard's chair. So eventually the stool got put in. But yeah, that was. I just thought, this is not for me.
Did you get blood all over you as well?
No, I avoided the blood.
Good.
After a couple of rounds, he was an expert, mate. The stool was in and out with no problems.
Yes.
Did Vic win the fight?
Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah.
Has Vic ever not won a fight?
He's lost a few now.
Has he?
Yeah.
Recently, more recently he has, but in those days, he was an animal. How did you find the experience, particularly being in the dressing room before the fight and seeing all that build-up, not being a boxing person?
Well, it was very homoerotic, really. Yeah. If you're a gay bloke and you're in there, like, you've got a hard on the whole time. I did, and I'm not even gay.
So
not as gay as Jeff, but
gay does mean happy, guys. So.
That's right.
Yeah.
But no, it's just a different environment. I'm not used to that. Not being a sporting guy, I know you look at me and you think athlete, but not really. In there, it's just a different mentality. But it's good to see someone like in that zone. It's just something I'm not used to.
I was also blessed. My last fight that I had with the Zuma Nelson, Kyle came down, was in the dressing room with me the whole time. With Shane Ward and us prior to it. So yeah, like I said, I'm very, very lucky to have some great law friends, and can't thank you enough, my brother.
No, mate, it's my pleasure to be there watching you do your thing.
Since becoming friends, have you gone back and watched Jeff's fights from back in the day? Because you wouldn't have been a boxing fan in those days. So. I've grown up watching, what he did. So that was just part of Australian culture. Yeah.
But have we sat down and watched it? No. Like, you've never invited me around to sit down. You're not that much of a love me that he goes, come around and watch on the big screen, me. Well, here's some more things of me.
Well, there's a theaterette just over here in this very room.
Yeah.
You two can have
and we
a
are
nice,
surrounded by
quiet
memorabilia.
night.
Have you seen the belts and shit the guys got lined up? Like, I always I've seen them a million times, but just to touch them and to see them, it becomes so much real.
And you've featured pretty prominently on this the photo wall as well, which I've still brushed from. But
thank God it was when he was younger, or would have had the cans down about 30 or 40 other photos.
Hey, he's allowed to do the fat jokes. Like, he's the one that shames me into, like, and then his wife gives me these biscuits here on a plate. Yeah. Listen, like,
Scotch.
As much as you lose, you put back on when you come around here.
Are you going to make a comeback with the training, Kyle?
Probably not.
Probably not.
No, I'm 49 now, so fuck. Why bother?
I would love him too, just because I think that we need him to be around for a lot longer. So.
Oh, here we go with the fucking guilty death thing again.
Yeah. That's why we got you here, actually. So
you're going to put me on the spot?
Yeah, what do you mean? We're locking you up. You're not out of here. Starting training tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Well, look. I'm not opposed to it. I go on and off thinking maybe I should do something. I've got high blood pressure, triple hernia.
Wonder why?
Hey, listen. These are sad moments.
You know what hernias are from? It's from carrying excess weight and stuff like that.
Yeah, I believe it's your internal organs peeling out through your fucking fat.
How are you coping with the world we're in at the moment, coronavirus, with everything that you do? You base yourself in the US quite a lot as well, so that's not happening.
Yeah, that's been a disappointment. So only because I see because I've got a house and cars and shit over there, so I don't like spending money on things that I can't enjoy. But it's good to be back here for a while. And apart from the international travel, I'm not really affected by it that much because I'm a bit of a hermit anyway. I like to go to work, go home. I don't like to go out. You don't see me getting around Westfield, lapping up the attention.
And while I'm obviously giving Kyle a rap, I've got to give Jackie a rap as well, because Jackie has travelled to America with us and been to dinner with us, and she's been with you over 20 years now, huh?
Yes,
amazing,
20 years.
Yeah, she's amazing.
20 years, still not ever once put out. A lot of people think that that's happened, but it has not.
Hasn't happened?
No.
Doesn't say much for you, Kyle.
Well, no, I never went there. I think that's it's been good. Like, a lot of people say, "Oh, you two should have got together," and it's like I think that's what the beauty of the relationship's been.
Yeah, it wouldn't have lasted 20 years if. Yeah.
Nah, imagine she would have been, "Oh, you fucked me," and then this and that. No, it's not for me.
Just on that topic for a sec, I heard you say during the week you used to have a sex addiction.
Yeah, this is after I broke up from marriage.
Yep.
I think I went through a crazy period. Like me and Ibrahim had some clubs, and that's your fault too.
Well, we're going to ask you that question. The boys want to ask you a couple of questions.
Oh yeah, like what?
So how did you end up with a club in King's Cross? And
that's Fenech's fault. Fenech, and she said, "Oh, my mate John, knows we're mates and he wants to meet you." So I met John, got on really well with him.
Well, the funny thing was that Kyle thought, I'm just going to go up to the Cross, I'm going to open this club, and I
didn't realise that.
I said, "Listen, mate, you got to go and say hello to a good mate of mine." And he's a good mate of both of us.
Yes,
we both love him a lot, and that happened, and Kyle met John, and the rest is really.
As a matter of fact, I know you probably got John coming up soon on this podcast. And I was going to tell a story about why me and John had to bail out of one of your daughter's birthday parties early, but I'll let him tell that story.
Well, he's told me he's written a lot of things down.
It's a great story. I told him I was going to say it, and he's like, "Fuck no, I'm saying that story." So we're already arguing over who's telling what story.
Big week in radio, Kyle. Alan Jones announcing that he's retiring. How did you react to that news?
Well, it was weird because it was only like a year ago when Alan was renegotiating his contracts that him and I were having some secret behind-the-scenes chats with each other because he was dealing with someone that I've dealt with before in management over there. And I haven't really spoken about this to anyone, but Alan and I had exchanged a few manoeuvres to get around this particular difficult manager that he was dealing with. And he was very gracious and very nice. And I had to sort of think to myself, shit, Alan Jones is asking me for negotiation advice. Yeah. But I am on probably double than he was, so no wonder I'd have gone to me as well and asked. I'm not bullshitting. Yeah. That's the way it is. But I was surprised. He must be dying. Something must be like pretty wrong if he's pulled the pin halfway through.
And it will be sad when he leaves, because he's such a knowledgeable man. And
he's a lovely bloke.
Yeah.
What do you think it does for the radio landscape or for yourself in particular?
Nothing.
Yeah?
It does nothing to me. We've got very different audiences. So he's got, he'd have some couriers that drive around that love to hear people whinging, and old people. And they're grafted on there. So they're putting Fordham on there, Ben Fordham, who's not a bad bloke, but a bit of a phony. But an all right bloke, but like a bit of a pretender. He's not his real self yet. He hasn't sort of become his real self broadcaster yet. He's still like, well, I'm Ben Ford. Likes to yell and fucking carry on. But like, he's good. You like Ben, don't you?
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah,
Ben,
you like him better than me. Not as
no.
good as me.
Nah, you're
It's like we'd both step on Ben's throat to get ahead.
See, Kyle, like I said, just remember this one thing: you're loyal, Kyle. You wouldn't throw me under the bus. Ben would throw me under very quickly if you.
Ben does. Ben has.
Yeah,
Ben's thrown everyone he knows under the bus.
So Ben will go out looking for a bit of your audience, won't he? He'll sort of shift to a younger
Who's going to fucking
demographic.
go over from my show over to Ben's show?
No.
I went on his show in the afternoon only a couple of months ago about some stupid thing I was promoting, can't even remember, and he gave me a pie. And and he goes, oh, have a pie. And he kept mentioning the name of the pie. It's like some little pie shop. And I thought, fuck, this is like some local pie shop he's sponsoring or something.
And we've got Scotch Finger here.
Yeah, we got Scotch Finger. We get no money off that.
No.
Arnott's should pay for this podcast, by the way. Bloody no substitute to quality. That's Arnott's logo.
That's right.
But Ben gave me this pie and it was all wet like a microwave, sort of floppy. And I said, oh, it's like an old man's penis. And I said it on 2GB. And he was outraged. He was like, oh, how dare you speak like, oh, I can't believe. It was all feigned outrage. It wasn't even real. And I thought, wow, you can't. I was like, all your listeners would have limp penises. So what is the, and he just couldn't believe I was saying it. So, but like he just needs, so there's no way he's going to get into my audience. My audience love a bit of filth.
Yeah, yours is a very different show. I actually read the news on your show for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Back in 2010 or something.
You didn't want to stay?
No.
Was it just to fill in?
Yeah, just to fill in. I think I took another job or something happened. But the first time I read a bulletin, I came out the back of it and you said, the first thing you ever said to me on air, I think you went, so is it blokes or chicks?
Oh,
so I was like,
straight
that's
away.
the highbrow sort of.
I think he liked you.
This is great.
Kyle,
I did say,
was gay.
why are you interested? We started.
Right.
He said yes.
Yeah.
But so I like to have gay news readers usually. Because we got Jackie, we got me. It's like, for the straight men, and it's good to have a third wheel, which is, a gay wheel. Or a black wheel or an Asian wheel or just some sort of different society member, We like to include everyone in our show.
Yeah, nice.
Ben's just mainly white, old whingers.
And couriers.
Yeah. That's the truth.
Viagra.
So I want to ask you a question because I've known you for a long, long time now, and like I said, the thing that I loved the most about you was your honesty and how you just would say things, and it's got you in a lot of trouble now as the years have gone.
Yeah.
Do you think that you've changed? Do you think fame and fortune has changed you?
I don't think so. I think I'm the same person, really. Like I don't really get off on. I don't get off on it. Like I get myself lots of nice things, but that's just doesn't really make you happy. So I think I'm just I think I'm the same person. Like I'm still quite giving and generous. Still a soft touch to people. Still get robbed every now and then. And a lot of the nicest people that have money out there do get robbed quite a lot. You loan something to someone, you do this, or you invest in something, and then some fuckwit fucks you over in the background. Thinks, oh, you'll be right, you got plenty. But it pisses me off when that does happen, and it's happened quite a few times. As I know, and it's happened to you too, Jeff.
Yeah,
many
but it's
times.
all good there. That's all part and parcel of living and learning. And I think I've done that now.
Oh, well, you're handling it way better than I am.
Yeah.
I've got fucking hits out on people. No, I haven't.
Well, Jeff, you're in a good position to comment. Do you think fame and fortune has changed Kyle? You know him as well as, better than we do.
Don't forget how loyal you are to him and how lovely you are.
I honestly think fame and fortune changes everybody. I don't care what Kyle says. It changed me. I still always say I'm still the same person. But it's impossible to be the same person when you have fame, when you have fortune, when you can buy what you want. You treat people a little differently than you used to when So I think Kyle's changed, but I think
still hang around all your fucking scab mates from Marrickville.
Yeah, but I still think that.
And some of them are not even that good of mates.
Yeah,
you're loyal.
You're not wrong.
Them.
Yeah,
Some
but like
of
I
you.
said, I just think that, I kind of have this answer that fame and fortune changes everybody.
So that's a long version of yes. It's changed you.
No, I don't. Do you think it's changed me?
Oh, of course, it's.
Like what? Name three things.
Not to me. You're the way you treat me, but I'm just I'm sure that. Now that you can have whatever you want, whenever you want, and you can tell people to get fucked if you only don't. Whenever, of course, that means just change. You wouldn't. I mean, although
I
know
told
you
everyone to get fucked even when I had nothing.
all right. He did do it. I'm just, come on.
Don't forget, I was a homeless child. Don't know if you guys have heard. I've only mentioned it 9,000 times in my career and written a book about it.
That's why I don't believe him.
Every article about it. You don't believe it?
No, I don't, mate. I don't believe him. I don't believe he was homeless at all.
I haven't listened.
What an asshole.
I haven't listened a great deal to your show, but
thanks for your
but you haven't watched much of my stuff either.
What do you even do?
Yeah, exactly. But tell us about the homeless thing. I knew that was.
Oh, well, I'll just paraphrase it. I was like a 15-year-old kid. Mum and father had divorced. He was a bit of an alco and a bit violent back when I was a little kid. And then Mum married the one-eyed fucking fire chief that lived across the road that was Dad's best friend. So you can just tell that didn't go down well with everyone. And the one eye becomes like not that big of a problem until like you've got your friend over for the first time and he finds your stepfather's eye in his mashed potato while he's over eating dinner. And my stepfather thought that was hilarious and I was mortified and never had a friend over again. So lots of those little weird things. And then they went away on a bus trip, my mum and stepfather, and my friends were like, the party's at your place. And I was like, fuck no. Like my parents are super strict and didn't really want to get involved like that. But peer group pressure and being a softie, party was at my place. But then there was some flood in northern New South Wales, and the bus trip got cancelled. So they came home in the middle of the party, and I was out in the stepfather's Kingswood with about 6 mates. And there's people rooting in my parents' bed, and there was hundreds of kids there, and alcohol and smoke. It was just it's typical Corey Worthington sort of party. But your mum comes home, and the stepfather, who was super strict, he was a monster. He came home in the middle of it, and then all hell broke loose, and I was kicked out that night and never went back. I just lived on the street for about a year, or bounced from friends to friends' place for a couple of weeks, and then sort of made a little house for myself at the back of a little convenience store down in the local shops. That was fun.
Yeah. How do you go from being homeless to having the number one FM radio show for...
I sucked a lot of dick. No. I went to live at my auntie's place in Townsville, like about maybe 10 months I was on the street, really, in total. And then my auntie, I went to live with her in Townsville, and then she was a nurse, so she's sort of strict but soft, caring, but like no nonsense sort of and I needed that sort of no nonsense after being wild for 10 months. And she knew that, because at night time when I was homeless, I could hear the speaker in the shop playing the radio. So that's the only entertainment I got as a kid, was late at night when everything was quiet. I could hear like the nighttime music show.
Yeah.
So I used to love that. And I'd live for that. And then during the day I'd hear nothing because, too much noise. And when I went to Townsville, there was like a hokey little radio station. You can imagine the one station town radio station in Townsville. And I was ironing my auntie's nurses' uniforms because I was a slave as well as living there. And I was sort of telling her, this station's shit, they should do this, they should do that, just based off listening to the Brisbane radio station at night.
Yep.
And she said, maybe you're interested, because they were always thinking, maybe you should be a carpenter, maybe you should go to the army, maybe you should get a trade, do you want to sell cars for a living? All these sort of, like, she was trying to come up with a job for me.
Yeah.
And she realised, you're interested in something, radio, maybe you can go and work there. And I was like, you can't just go and get a job in radio. You don't just show up and get a job like that. Then a few weeks later, there was a casual position for like one of those guys to drive the cars around. Mm-hmm. So I took that job. I went for that job, sorry. I was only 16 at this stage, didn't have a driver's license, so I realised halfway through, fuck, I'm not going to get this. And the fat chick that was interviewing me, she was not interested. So in true homeless rat cunning style, I went straight into a lie and said, I've worked at this radio station in Brisbane before, just made up a lie that I've driven the cars and, I know how to do this job. And instantly she was like, you've already done it before, the job's yours. So I had to go up to the office and fill in the forms, and they wanted my driver's license, and I thought, I hadn't thought that far ahead that I might have to show proof that I had a license.
Yeah.
And I said I didn't have it on me, and I'd bring it back in. And anyway, I never that lady in the office never asked me for the license again, and I drove the radio station car around giving away freebies for about 8 months with no license as a 16-year-old kid in Townsville. And had to hide it from my auntie for a while, but she eventually found out before I got my license that I was driving unlicensed.
Yeah.
Confronted me about it, And I said, and it was a big fight in the front yard, and she goes, I forbid it. And I was like, well, fuck you, I'm going to be homeless again. This is the only thing I'm interested in. And she said that she would turn a blind eye. She said, but if you kill someone, you're on your own.
Yeah.
And that's never ever has anyone said a more loving thing to me. That was the most loving memory of a family member.
Kyle, I want to ask you something. So you've been in the industry for so long. What do you honestly believe is the secret to success? Why has it been so successful? What do you believe?
I just think it's a combination of a few things. I think working with Jackie is good because she was already quite successful when I joined her, and it was a national kids countdown, and we were on there for like 4 or 5 years, and then we went to National Drive in the afternoon. And then I forced the radio management at the time because the rest of the station was shit. The morning crew had left, and there was some comedians on in the morning, and we were the only number one show on the Today FM at that stage. And I said to Jackie, we're going to force our way into breakfast because that's where the big money is. Like, that's where the multi-million dollars are if you're number one. And she was always a bit nervous. Like, Jackie was always happy to be doing well, but she didn't have that drive for the money that I had. Like, and it wasn't coming from a greed thing. I just thought, am I going to be doing a kids countdown when I'm 50? Like, I'm 49 now. I can't imagine me doing the top 30. I can't imagine it.
Yeah.
So we needed to sort of move time slots. So I think there was a bit of luck. Other people had sort of done their tenure and they were sort of wrapping up their career, and we were in the right spot. And what I truly believe is the success beyond the breakfast show is that people that used to listen to me as teenagers during the Hot 30 countdown are now in their mid-20s or early 30s going to work, and so we've grown up with them. So we've been there their whole teenage years, and now we're there when they go to work in the morning. So I think it's a lot of luck, and the show's been good. Like, what am I? What number? Bruno was telling me this. My manager Bruno is off camera and off mic because he's not that important. And Bruno, you were telling me I'm the what number highest paid radio announcer in the world? Number what?
I think 4th, perhaps.
Number 4 in the world.
Wow.
So that's fucked because I don't know what he's doing as a manager, but if he's happy with 4th, you don't even have a place on a podium with 4th. So it's still a bit to go as far as I'm concerned.
Interesting
the
parallel.
world's a big place.
Interesting parallel there because obviously the story of Jeff is well known that when he was a directionless teenager, found Newtown Police Boys and boxing.
Yeah.
You found radio. Where do you think you'd be if you hadn't found that direction at that point? Where would you be now? Would you be
dead or in prison probably? Like a lot of my other friends were back then. I bet some of your friends are dead and in prison.
Yeah, I think about it all the time.
I never think about mine.
I know, sometimes when I go to Maryville, I'm around someone, I see some friends that I knew when I was young, and I look at them and think, wow, look, because they have done drugs and stuff all their life. They look terrible. I'd rather be dead than look like some of them. I feel really sorry for them. But I was blessed. I found, I just.
But you got to try, right? To have a will to get out of a shit life.
You got to have the drive.
Yeah, and you got to have the luck, the opportunity. Like, if I didn't have my auntie, wouldn't have happened. If you didn't have police boys clubs, who knows what would have happened?
If it wasn't for Johnny Lewis, so who knows what I would have done.
Yeah. That the bloke that's the main founder, you reckon? You contribute your success mainly to him?
Yeah, he just taught me so much. He was the guy who would set me these goals, and he had this crazy belief and told me that I could do these things that I'd never boxed in my life. He told me you can be,
anything.
Straight, you can
do
the
this,
best. And all of a sudden these things started to happen. So it was like that. Yeah, he'd hypnotised me. Whatever he said.
Right. I get
believed.
that.
Whatever he said, I believed. If he told me that I could, run from here to Melbourne in a day, I would do it. I believed I could do it.
It's amazing. I didn't have anyone like that I can. Like, my auntie was good to sort of point the direction of radio, but sorry, Corona. You guys all got it now. Only joking.
Yeah.
But the auntie was good to point me off, but I didn't have anyone there sort of like Jeff did, sort of pointing in the right direction. I just sort of did it. And my first 10 years was like pitiful money, and my dream was to maybe be good enough to be at the Gold Coast one day. That was the dream. So I didn't really have the grandiose dream. I would have loved to have had a coach on the side, telling me I can do this, I can do that.
So you're homeless, number one radio breakfast FM show. Then you're hanging out with Snoop Dogg and all these A-listers in America. How did you meet Snoop, and how did all that sort of come about?
My wife was doing a song with Snoop the first time I met Snoop, and she was like half Lebo, half white. And then he's like, and I think he was a bit taken by this is white girl. And then she had a full fight with Nate Dogg. Remember Nate Dogg with
Warren
the white?
Nate Dogg.
Yeah. So Nate Dogg walked in and and said, "Who's these white bitches?" Blah blah blah. And she said, "Who the fuck are you calling the white bitch?" And I thought, "Oh no!" And then he put a big bag down on the floor, and one of my mates said, "Hey, that bag's full of automatic weapons." And here's my wife screaming at him, "You black this, you think you can tell me white?" Like
remote control cars and stuff he's talking about.
No, I'm talking about automatic weapons. I shit myself. Anyway, and I thought, as a husband, you should go to the defense of your wife, but there's 16 full gang members standing in Snoop's Dogg's place in Irvine in California, not like the yuppiest place. And she's screaming at Nate Dogg, and there's a bag of automatic weapons on the ground. And I was like,
See you later tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to do.
Stage left, snaggle puss.
I'm not sure what to do. Anyway, it calmed down. Snoop got involved. And then, then Nate Dogg and her did a song together. So they all went off. So I just let that ride, and that just sort of worked out well. And Snoop and I went into Snoop's little green hallway, which got little couches in it. And then he said to me, "I'm going to teach you something Tupac taught me. And I was so stoned on weed. Anyway, he taught me how to roll a joint, a blunt, which I didn't know. A joint's one thing, but he taught me how to roll a blunt because he was taught by Tupac. And then he's got such long fingers, and I was so whacked that the way he was doing it with his fingers, and they were so long, and he showed me the blunt, and he goes, "Now you know how to do it." But I still to this day can't do a blunt.
Did you see the video of Snoop? I think he's struggling with lockdown at the moment. He was in the back of his car filming himself listening to the Frozen soundtrack. Those kids. What have they done to him? At one stage, how we have like little garden sheds in the backyard we put mowers in, the aluminium things? At one stage, he was sitting there. His wife would make him sit out there. He had a big screen TV and a couch. He'd sit out there smoking weed in one of those aluminium sheds. Yeah, right. That's the life.
And I thought, fuck, this is Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
In a mower shed, smoking weed at his own home. I felt for him.
Are you two passing notes?
Or do you like me, tick here?
Yeah.
So, who's the most famous person you've ever slept with?
I can answer that for him. I can answer that for him. Without doubt, he's going to say himself when he masturbates. Without doubt, that's his answer.
Well, look, there's been quite a list, and I don't tell the list, but I will say that I did knock back a date with who was she? That old supermodel, Linda?
Janice Dickinson?
No, not Janice Dickinson. Linda Evangelista. I said no to a date. Didn't really like. She was. That was like nothing. Not thinking I'm greater than her.
On what grounds did you knock it?
I was already dating someone at the time. Yeah, it wasn't
Loyalty.
because
That's never stopped you before.
No. Well, I was dating someone back then. It was only fresh. So yeah, but she didn't try and have sex with me, mind you. She just asked someone to catch up after the show for a bite to eat.
Oh,
but yeah,
normal. When she looks at you, you think you need bite to eat.
Fuck you. I wasn't this big back then, but there's been like the good thing is you get these people are the loneliest people in the world that don't get approached. Supermodels, actresses, singers, the people that you think, oh well, you'd never be able to fucking ask her out on a date. No one asks them on a date.
Yeah,
no one ever. Everyone thinks that. So then I'm in a room for an hour. And they think, oh, he's funny. Oh, he's this, he's that. And then, I've gone there many times.
And a few of our dinners in Argos in LA, we met a lot of people, Tyson, those kinds.
Yeah, I loved Argos.
Yeah.
Do you still go to Argos?
I still go there, but my friend that used to run it, Paulie's not there anymore, so it's a little change, but I still go there, just out of loyalty, the loyalty factor,
Yeah. God, we had many meals at Argos.
You introduced him to Tyson, is it?
Yeah.
Dinner there with Mike. Yeah.
How was that experience?
Yeah, great. Well, I was fucking trying to figure out what he's saying.
Yeah.
But then he didn't ever say a lot. But like he didn't say a lot back then. Like he'd hardly say anything. I think he might have been even I've got total respect for the guy, but he didn't say much as
I think he might have been a bit intimidated by the size of the great white hope, the great white dope here.
Yeah,
the great white hope.
But now Tyson, you can't. No, he talks and talks like Tyson's telling some of the greatest stories ever told now.
Yeah. What happens when you guys go out? Because Jeff loves his red wine, and you're not much of a drinker, Kyle.
I don't drink. Yeah, no. Well, we sit down, we have a meal, we have a laugh. Like it's not all about Jeff. I've never seen Jeff drunk or anything like that. It's always like
we haven't been there for the last.
I've never seen him blind.
Back in those days, and like I said, as Lawless, I don't see Kyle a lot, but like I said, because I knew him, he's here now. But back in those days, Kyle, I was not as kind of. Didn't drink as much. I did. Now I've got friends like Ben Damon and my mate down the back. This Kiwi guy down the back there.
He'll fucking throw us under the bus.
We had a feed and a drink the other night, and none of them remember leaving the house. None of them remember any. But it was a good time. We're very, very blessed.
We mentioned Tyson there briefly. I know Kyle's here, but a lot of talk about Mike Tyson this week. Jeff, have you spoken to Mike or to anyone, to his wife or anyone about what's going on?
With Kiki, we send a little email just to see how things are going. But to be honest, he's the biggest name in sports still. Yeah. And I mean, it's just crazy. Like, I don't know how many million hits and things that he's done have had.
The little bit of pad work that he did.
And now he started. Now Vander Holyfield started doing a bit of training, and somebody else started doing a bit of training. It's just crazy. I mean, if that happens, I mean, because the shit they were talking about, Sonny Bill Williams and Paul Gallen, which was
a pretty annoying couple of weeks for people like you and I dealing with all that.
To me, it was just disrespectful to the sport for those guys to say, I'd like to see what hits. Like, if you like to see if those guys want to see what anybody hits, like, just let young Brock punch you in the face once, and let me guarantee you that, he's like 60 kilo, he'll knock him out. I mean, want to see what Mike Tyson hits. Like, it's a crazy statement.
Oh, you saw that video. No one wants to be hit by Tyson ever. No. That's like being hit with a fucking power pole.
Baseball bat.
Yeah.
I was getting flinches just watching the video.
That reminds me very much of you when I used to hold the pads with you.
You laugh, but he's not joking.
Yeah, I'm too right. I'm not.
You are joking.
No, I'm not.
You lied. You lied.
I'm not joking. I'm saying
you fucking lied to me back then. I lied to keep you motivated. Understandable.
Never. Nah. But I'm just like I said, Cole trained really hard, and I'm saying when you see Mike doing this stuff, and then you hear, like I said, I had maybe 20 interviews, and wow, I shouldn't even do them, but I just wanted to do them just to let them know what a joke it was.
And obviously in the climate we're in at the moment, people are desperate for something to talk about, so it went even further. And obviously Mike Tyson's not coming to Australia.
And even my friend who put the story out there, Brian Armature, is my great friend. I mean, Brian, you've offered it, first it was $500,000, then $1 million. He's not getting 20 odd million to do an exhibition with somebody. I mean, I don't know what they're on. I don't know that stuff.
He's not coming to Australia. He's not coming to Australia. He's not fighting them. But what is he going to do? As far as you know,
he's going to make a shitload of money out of weed, and he's going to sell himself to the highest.
Let me just say something. His wife, Kiki, is such an amazing person. She's our great friend. But
she's very switched on.
What she's done and the transformation. Look. Like I said, I left Vegas one day thinking that he was going to be dead, and you look at his career, and that roller coaster that he's ridden, and at the moment he's as high as anybody. And I mean, he's, like I said, and while we were there, some of the projects and some of the property and land they've brought to put entertainment and things for people to do, it's just crazy. And I mean, I take my hat off to him because he's got to sit down and want to do it, and he's listened to his wife, and
he's got a plan now, proper strategy sort of plan.
And like I said, apparently the money they're making from the ranch is crazy, and his podcast, and look, if he's going to box an exhibition, there's rumours it's something like 20 odd million from that's crazy. Wow.
Do you think Tyson Holyfield 3 as an exhibition happens, or?
I don't. Look, if it happened, it would have to be really choreographed. I mean, because I don't think both guys would want to get hurt at this age and take that risk. And I don't think that the sport of boxing, and with brain injuries and everything else that's happening that we talk about today, I think it shouldn't be allowed. If it was going to be a real fight, I don't think it should be allowed at that age.
Those two blokes wouldn't be able to go easy.
No way.
Given the rivalry between them, I know they've made up and they're friends now. But once they got in there, even if they were wearing big gloves and headgear,
you don't think Mike would like?
Is this a sports podcast I'm on? How come I'm here?
One of the greatest athletes.
Sports podcast. I don't know
One of the
anything about
greatest
it.
athletes.
I'm sitting here wondering what the fuck are these guys talking about?
You know exactly what we're talking. He's in the closet for more reasons than one. This guy.
I've never got sport. I've always thought, why do blokes sit around drinking large beers, watching other men run around in little shorts on the grass? I was like, that's not for me. But you guys are all the types that like watching other men run around on the grass.
What about when you were at the boxing though? Did you enjoy what was going on there, or did you find it fascinating? I
only enjoyed it because I was right there getting sweated on, and I'm sitting on the stool. If I was up the back there, I'd be like, "What's this fucking shit?" I suppose maybe I just never followed any teams. I was team me the whole time because I didn't have any other choice. Yep. Maybe and I moved from place to place. Maybe that's why I never followed a football team. But I know everyone else does. I just found it strange. Why don't you get on the Brock
Jarvis journey with Jeff Fenech's protege, who's upcoming in Australian boxing?
Too much commitment. Brock's going to be Brock's a star now. As if he's not going to be a legend. But I'll have to follow him from the lounge room. I can't be committed to fucking flying around the world holding some boy's chair. I've got my own shit to do. But I love the kid. He's amazing.
It's not a bad chair to hold. You see the girls who look at this kid. He's like,
oh, really?
Yeah,
but what am I supposed to do? Get that fucking kid's cast-offs? No. That's too humiliating for Too humiliating for an old man like me. I've settled right down these days.
What's the story you know about Jeff Fenech that nobody else knows? You guys been out or something that other people might not know?
Well, I won't say when we stole that car because that'll fucking get us. Another story. Well,
I want to ask.
No, I'm thinking of these stories. I can't say that.
No, forget stories. Kyle, what is it that attracts you or that keeps our friendship the way it's been?
Well, because you know what, and this is the same with all my close friends. There's a no nonsense. It's a mutual respect. It's humour. It's loyalty. It's being honest with each other. It's even saying what you think without the fear of being, outcast or shunned upon, but also respecting each other's, as an individual and what each other's done. That's the sort of thing that's what I really like about Jeff. I knew who Jeff was my whole life, but I never thought that I'd become one of his great friends. I never thought that, one day Jeff's going to be one of my groomsmen at my wedding, which he was.
Could be another one.
Yeah, for sure. I can't just change that. What do you think I'm going to have? Sorry, you're at the last one. You won't be able to be at another one. But that's what I love. I love that he's a champion in every true sense of the word, not just his abilities in boxing, but as a friend, as someone who tells me what he actually truly thinks. And I've never known anyone to be able to get as much free high-end red wine. Fuck knows where he gets it from. But I shouldn't even mention. We might beep that out in case that fucking cuts off everyone's supply.
I think we're good. There's a room of it over there.
But just look around this room here. There's he's the only other person I know except for me and Johnny and Paris Hilton and the Kardashians that have so many self-portraits of themselves as wonderful human beings. Queen Elizabeth's got that shit going. But not many of it. And these are all things that have been given to us. We're not fucking asking, can you paint me for the Archibald Prize? No, I'd never ask that. But people do that sort of thing to Jeff, me, and that's the sort of same group of friends I've got. When I went into Paris Hilton's house for the first time, I went to, it's a fucking whole new story. I can tell it now because I went into her bedroom, right? So me and Paris are in her bedroom.
For how long?
Oh, no, it wasn't one of those. There was a party going on. You know me, I'm not there for a long time. Yeah. And guess who pops out of the closet? Thorpe. And I'm not fucking, this isn't a gay joke. Thorpe came out of the closet, literally at the Hilton's place. And I went, what are you doing hiding in the closet, Thorpe? There's a party there. So, but he might have been admiring the shoes. Who knows what he was doing. But they're the sort of people that this is a true story. It was a party.
Checking out the handbag.
I understand it was a party, but
you fucking think of it. I don't know what sort of parties you go to. So, so the bathroom was full and the closet was obviously full of people. He just happened to pop out and I thought it was hilarious. But she's got cushions of herself on her own bed with her face on it. Now, a lot of people would think, fuck, but that's a real love me. I even thought that, right? But then, because I didn't have anything like that.
And then you done it
now
yourself.
I've got that shit. I've got that shit myself.
Yeah, you needed that big king size bed, but it's all good.
Of course.
Do you have cushions with you?
Not cushions in my face, but there's paintings like Jeff's got here, and like he's got like awards and shit. I've got the same sort of stuff, but radio rubbish and TV rubbish, not like sporting memorabilia which sells for fucking big money online. Like I don't see many radio memorabilia selling for anything online.
It's not a big market, is it?
No, it's not. It's very niche.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's it. We've run out of fucking fun, have we?
That's it, yeah.
Oh, what? How long does this go for?
As long as it goes.
Yeah.
How long has it been
Still
going
Paul
for
says
now?
that's enough.
45 minutes.
That's
that
plenty.
it?
Yeah, it's plenty.
Unless you got something else for us. What do you got?
Something
no,
exciting
no.
you're working on, or anything coming up that...
No, nothing that you guys are interested in. Just
The
like
only,
anyone
else?
startups and
No,
things
no,
like
is
that.
there anyone?
the only
No,
time
no,
it's
no,
coming
no.
up for calls if he takes that Viagra, brother.
I can't take that high blood pressure. Kill me.
I've got you something different. Don't worry.
What do you? No, I can't have the
All right.
fucking that other jelly shit that you.
Nah, it's a new one.
What is it?
That's it.
It won't ruin my blood pressure.
It will work for you, brother.
Yeah, but will I have a stroke
Well, you
because of the
wouldn't
blood
believe him.
pressure?
Just say the other day, Susie.
Because I don't want to have it go to the heart on and then spend the rest of my life in a fucking wheelchair dribbling out
Susie
the right
found
side
some
of
of
my
the
mouth.
Viagra upstairs in my room.
Yeah.
She threw it down the toilet. Now the fucking seat won't go down. Kyle, I want to ask you a quick question. Listen, come on, Kyle, I want to ask you just a couple of questions. I want to ask you.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, Jack's dad, had 3 children. Snap, crackle, and.
Pop?
I said Jack's dad had 3 children, Kyle. Snap, crackle, and.
Well, I don't know.
Jack, of course.
Jack's
Jack's dad
is this
has
a
3.
fucking maths equation?
This is a different podcast.
Just testing you out,
I
mate.
feel like I'm out of my element here.
What does YES spell, Kyle?
What is what?
YES.
Yes.
Put an E in front of what is it now.
Yes. Yes.
No, it's eyes.
Oh. Oh, fuck.
I don't know how you got this job, Kyle. I'm not sure how you got this job.
I'm not here on education. I didn't finish year 10, remember? Even Jackie, she finished year 10 twice and still failed. So we're not the education station, that's for sure.
So, Kyle, can we get you to Brock Jarvis's next fight? Do you want to do
Of course
do
you'll
the
come
stool?
with us.
When is it? Oh, I
Well,
don't
we're
know
gonna
if I
wait
can do
for
this.
that.
Still
It won't be
depends
too
where
far
I
off.
am. This is what I do. I
Yeah.
commit to things,
No, if
Probably
you're here,
August.
and then
so.
I'll be fucking in the Swiss Alps somewhere skiing, and someone will go, "Oh, tomorrow you've got to be at fucking
You go to the
Marrickville,
stool.
someone's fucking someone's fight." But I'm behind Brock the whole 100%. The kid's a weapon. Have you seen him skip? I know that doesn't
Cole
sound very
taught him that
threatening.
have
It
we
doesn't
seen you
sound
skip?
threatening, seeing
Wait,
have you seen him-
wait, have you seen Cole skip?
No.
Well, you won't. You can bet on that.
Unless I'm skip running behind the Mr. Whippy truck.
Anyway, Kyle, I just want to just say, listen, I love you. You're my brother, and thank you so much for doing this for me.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See you,
Sure.
fellas. Thanks
See
for
you,
having
mate.
me.
Cheers, man.
Thanks, Kyle.
Bye.